Got him. See who choked that one. That's when they want to eat it right there, where they got it strapped all the way inside their mouth like that. That's what you're looking for right there. You know, another bait that I like to have tied on is something that's gonna, you can wind over shallow cover with treble hooks on it. And the SPRO Zero Swimmer is really one of those dynamic baits. It's kind of a mix between a swim bait and a square bill, and it's got a real enticing action to it. A lot of wiggle and wobble to it. You know, you can fish it over grass, rocks, drop-offs, in a lot of different situations. And I love to fish it in a low light scenario when, you know, those fish are looking up and they're gonna have a silhouette of a bait fish just winding seductively and sexy, you know, coming through the water. And the strikes, man, I mean, they can be pretty violent on that style of bait. Got him, good one. What the if, it's a bass, it's a big one. Maybe a big striper the way you stay it down. No big old bass. Giant bass. I mean, stay on there, buddy. Here it comes up. It's a freaking toad. He ate that SPRO. I'm gonna come back there. Boy, he's got that bait. I can't get hold of him. That's a giant. Oh yeah, look at that one there, boys. That's a big one. That's a big one right there. I'll have to get hold of him so I can get that hook out of its mouth. Oh man, that's a stud. I saw that swirl. I mean, I immediately was like, oh my God, if that's a bass, it is a giant. Well, it stayed down at first. I thought it was probably a big old striper. And they're just reeling that big old bait across there, and he smoked it. I say, hey, this is a big sheave right there. That's a giant. Big old pre-spawn or post-spawn female right there. Let her get back in the water. Yeah, buddy. Thank you, girl. That's a giant bass. Go on down there. Whew, that's so much fun right there. Shook me up when it first come up. I watched it come up roll. We don't have footage of that. It looked like thought it was a striper. It looked about that long. It came up, rolled all over it, and I just like, oh, it's got to be a striper. Stayed down, then it came up. Oh, that's so fun. I mean, all I'm doing is fishing along grass edges, rock edges, and brush with this wake bait right here, and it doesn't go but about 1.5 feet deep, but these fish are looking up. It's cloudy. It's kind of, you know, overcast a little bit. You know, one of those kind of days that you think you'd catch them. And this bait from SPRO, it's part of the Essential series. It's the Zero Swimmer, not a giant bait. You know, a lot of guys like throw 5, 6 inch, much bigger baits. I like this size of a bait right here. You can tell it hunts well, reels through the water well, and that fish right there, he came up, thought he had him a big old shad, and instead we got to get pictures with him. How cool is that? That's a stud of a bass. Oh, giant. That was fun. Once again, I think this is a style of bait that is, you know, worthy of having several of them in your tackle box at all given time. So, you know, there's going to be a situation out there, some cover, a period or a window during a lot of times of the day when they will aggressively feed on this style of a bait. I mean, I've thrown them in clear water, I've thrown them in off-color water, I've thrown them on drop-offs, I've thrown them around grass beds, and just found it to be very deadly and very enticing to generate strikes and hookups. Bait has, oh my God, some hooks on it. It is sticky, sharp. Not a lot of specific secret techniques to throwing a bait like this. You just really, want to have the right rod and reel set up, the right line, and keep the bait wet and in key areas. It's more about you finding the fish than it is anything.